Hey guys, this is Meredith with MK Lone Star Handcrafted, and I am doing something just a little bit different today. We are actually in the car, and we are taking a little bit of a drive. We are heading over to Port Aransas, Texas, to just go see the beach. And it was apparently it's a little bit cooler over here than it is on the mainland. It was 78 degrees when I left my house, which is 13 miles away, and I'm sitting here in line waiting for the ferry, and it is 69 degrees. And yes, so I'm in a t-shirt, yoga pants, and sandals. I thought I was going to be getting out of the car, and no, apparently I won't be getting out of the car. 69 and no socks and tennis shoes, and I don't get along. So, I'm going to flip you all around so you all can kind of see what's going on. We're in a long line. It is Friday. It is a 3-day weekend, from my understanding. Monday being President's Day. So for some schools and for some jobs, people are out. So it'll be a 3-day weekend here. And it's supposed to be nice here this weekend. So a lot of people will come down for the weekend and then head back on Monday. So the line gets kind of long on Fridays. People come down and go fishing and stuff. Red tail snapper is the big commodity down here. And yes, that's the name of it, red tail snapper. And so they come down and go fishing for that. And there are two ways onto the island. You can take the ferry from Aransas Pass, or you can go across. You can go through Corpus Christi and take 361 into Port Aransas. So currently, and I've moved up so you can't really see. Let me flip it around before we move up any further. Just 1 second. Let's find where I flip it around at. Come on. No, wrong thing. You guys, I can't figure this out. Find my thing. Well, I'll just turn y'all this way. Over there is water. And trees and brush. And then on this side, you can see there's also just dunes, brush. But on the other side of that is water. So we are essentially surrounded by water. In front is the line of cars. You can see 3 oil rigs up there in the fog. We'll get closer and I'll show you. Those have been sitting there. Those are offshore drilling rigs that have been sitting there for several years. One of those is actually for sale. You're welcome to buy it if you would like it for $8.5 million, I believe, or 3.5 million. If you would like to own one. So whenever they come in, when they bring them in, it's a big thing to watch those come in, apparently. So we came down here every summer. I was raised up in Oklahoma, in Norman, Oklahoma. Go Longhorns. No, I'm not a Sooner fan. Never have been a Sooner fan. Yes, my father worked at OU. My sister graduated from OU. However, from my earliest memories, I was always a Longhorns fan. And we won't get into that. But we used to come down every summer in July. Now, before we started, when we were younger, real young, so before my older sister started school, we would come down, I believe, in either September or October for a month. Excuse me. But after she started school, we started coming down in July. Now, she only came down for 1 July, I believe, because she did pass away in the summer after her first grade year. So that was July of 1977. She passed away. And then we came down after her funeral. But it was always, the tradition was always that when you came to the island, you came by way of the ferry. And when we would get onto this stretch of the road, it was, at least for me, always an excitement, always an intense pleasure, because I knew I was getting near the beach. We were almost there, and that was just so satisfying to me, and I hated leaving. And I always knew that there were two things I knew. One, I would own the home that my grandparents had owned, that my grandfather had built, that my dad had been raised in. And two, I would one day live down here. Now, in what order that would be, I did not know. I had at one point thought I felt I had the call to ministry, and I thought I was called to the church down here. But that ended up not being the case. Yes, I do go to church here. So on Sundays, I make this trip across. And I do check to see what the ferry wait is to know if I need to go through Corpus or if I can come across. That also lets me know how long is it going to take me to get to church. So it's either a 45-minute drive to an hour drive to get to church on Sundays. Do I go every single Sunday? No, I don't. There is a church closer to me that I do, that we have started attending also. And we go there to make it, or I go there to make it easier. Randall only gets to go to church with me 2 times every 6 weeks. The 6th and 7th week he can go to church because of his work schedule. I see a lot of people turning around and getting out of the line. It said there was a dense fog advisory. There's a lot of fog over the water. Here's a better shot of water. There's a good shot of some water over there, way out there in the bay. And it saddens me that it's a dense fog advisory, because I wanted to bring y'all across on thinking it was going to be a nice sunny day, because it was when I left my house. And the time I purposely, it's 4 o'clock Central Time right now, and I scheduled it for this time because this is the time the dolphins come out to play. And you can see the dolphins from the ferry and watch the dolphins in the harbor. But back to when I was a little girl, we would get on this stretch, and there were times we had to sit for hours in this line waiting, especially in the summer. Summertime, it's a long wait. No matter what day of the week, no matter the time of day, it's a long wait. But we would come for a whole month. And those months were some of the best. And that was back, well, obviously, as I've already said, back in the 70s and the 80s. And that was before Port Aransas had been built up. My sister and I would walk around the island. No big deal. We'd walk down to the beach. We'd walk around the beach by ourselves. We'd walk around the island by ourselves. It wasn't big. It's not big. Port Aransas is not big. And we would walk wherever we really wanted to walk. In July is the deep sea weigh-in that takes place. It is a deep sea fishing competition, and we would go to that for a couple days. Oh, that was fantastic. Always loved that. A couple other things about Port Aransas that are just fantastic that Randall and I go to now is either every year, it's always either the 3rd or the 4th weekend in April, is the Texas, and I'm watching to see if traffic moves, sorry, is the Texas Sand Fest. That is a worldwide sand castle. Well, and I'm not even going to call it a sand castle because they don't build sand castles. They build sand sculptures competition. And sand sculptors from around the world come to build these gorgeous sand sculptures. And they have different classes. There's the amateur that anybody can be in. And groups of people will, get a group together and will do that. Then you have your intermediates, and then you have your professionals. And there is a judging and everything else. And if you are in the Texas area, if you are ever able to, I highly, highly recommend it. This year it is the 4th weekend of April. Hotels book up fast. Condos book up fast. Housing books up fast. If you need a place to stay, I highly recommend the Beachcomber or stayinporta.com. Melissa is fantastic. I will leave that link in the description box below. She is the cheapest rental agency on the island outside of hotels, and actually I think she's even cheaper than hotels. We have always rented from her. There was only one time that we had to get a hotel and didn't stay with her, and I regret that. Believe me, I regret that. And there is stuff in Port Aransas all the time. It's a wonderful vacation spot. It's a wonderful place. Even though it's grown up, even though it is now a known place to come and vacation, it is so worth coming. for a vacation. I know Patrick at Soapy Oaks Farms can attest to Port Aransas being a nice place, as he used to have a place, or does have a place in one or the other, I'm not for certain, Aransas Pass. So he's been to Port Aransas quite a bit, and many other people I know can attest to Port Aransas just being great. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this for now, because I only have limited video time on here. And once we get on the ferry, or get close to the ferry, I will start it back up. So y'all hang tight. Okay guys, we're back. Here is the derricks up close. That's what they look like. The brown part that you see is the part that is underwater. These are some pretty big derricks, as you can see. So, we're getting closer to the landing, to the ferry. So, I will bring you all back in just a few minutes. Okay guys, welcome back. We are now at the actual dock. So, I'm going to zoom y'all in. There's a ferry coming in right there that's getting ready to pull it. Actually, he just pulled into the dock. This one is the larger one. And sitting over there is that's one of the large ones. It looks like all we have out now, it looks like they have made all the docks now for the large ones. We don't have any of our small ones left now. No. Looking to see. No, they've gotten rid of all of our small ferries now. They must have done that in the past week. So, these are all, I believe, these now hold 20 cars, if I'm not mistaken. And so, once we go to drive on, I will turn it back on. Actually, I'm incorrect. Here is, and y'all are gonna have problems seeing it, but there is one of these small ones right there coming in. And that is what I grew, actually, that's the good, Marquee Good. That is the one I grew up riding on. So that is a ferry that has been around since I was a child. See how he pulls up to the dock right there. And they will let all those cars go. So. And those hold 12, so the big ones hold 20. And onto the ferry we're going, guys. See, they're gonna direct me as to where to go. Right here. Okay. So we're gonna be up here, kind of near the front. Okay, lady, out of my way. Put it in park, turn off the engine, and look, we got a good view because we get to see over the water. We have nobody next to us. You can see across to the island over there. That is where we are going. Marine law, safety first, stop the engine, set the brake, no smoking. There are boats out in the water. I am not going to roll down my windows. It's possible that you might see a, I wish it would quit going out of focus. Possible you might see a dolphin. I don't know if they come out in the fog. A lot of seagulls. Or as people I know call them, flying rats. And we're going to see here, they almost have it filled up. They're loading it pretty quickly today. Got a seagull that keeps diving down to get himself some fish down there, or shrimp, or whatever he's diving for. Here comes a boater that's going a little faster than what he's supposed to be going through the harbor. Oh, he's starting to slow down. It's going a little bit fast though. Let's see. Are y'all zoomed in here? Let's. Sorry. And he's still going a little fast. I'm gonna zoom y'all in so y'all can get a better view. Get a better chance of seeing some dolphins possibly pop up. It is very windy out, and away we go. He's taking off kind of slow because there's one, let me kind of come across, there's one right there coming in. Let's go back around. Let's stay on this side because we're on the left hand side of the boat, whatever side that is. I'm not boat savvy on the names. I don't know what's port side and what's starboard side. There is over here right there on the water. Those are all pelicans right there on the water. Looks like there's possibly a, oop, there goes one of the workers. Looks like there's a good sized line heading back. Oh, the sun's going to start breaking back through. Yes, there is a... That's all those cars you see right there are all in line waiting to get back on the ferries. And there's the... Here, let me unzoom it right here. There's the Kingfisher. That is a day cruise that you can take to go fishing, or just go dolphin watching and stuff. They're coming back in. Ooh, the water is rocky today. I see no dolphins trailing the Kingfisher, which usually, when one of the big ships comes through or a boat comes through, usually you can see dolphins trailing them. But there's none playing in the wake of the Kingfisher. And now we are about to dock. And he has to maneuver this big ferry in between and right into this landing right there. I wish we could have been up front so y'all could have really seen it. But it's the luck of the draw of where we were at. And over here, let me zoom out a little bit. Here's the William Burnett. That one is also a smaller one. It is a 12 car one. You can see the difference in size of it and the one next to it. It's much shorter. If you see the yellow here at the end of it, as opposed to where the yellow is on the other one. And then these are also wider. These in the middle are 1, 2, 3, 5 cars across, as opposed to just being the 3 across and 4 deep. And the William G. Burnett has been here also since I was a child. And then here she is going to tell him how far up to go, and then she literally brings this ramp down to meet it. And I'm going to try and take y'all straight down to the water. I don't know, honestly, how much memory I have left. So this might cut off. The middle row always goes first. I think that's right. Yes. And then it's us. It's not looking at where we're going. Then he's going to direct us off. Always go this way. Thank you. I always wave at him and always tell him goodbye. Yes, very, very long line to get back onto the ferry, I see. So, when I leave the island today, oh, it's way wrapped around. I will actually not be going back via the ferry. I will be going back via Corpus Christi. Probably. More than likely. Because the lines are so long. It will also depend how much time I spend here on the island. I've just turned on to Cutoff Road. Now this is where Hurricane Harvey, the eye of Hurricane Harvey, actually hit. So, for being just over a year since Hurricane Harvey hit, Port Aransas is back up and running. It is fully back up and running. Pretty much everything is back up. Very little is not. There are still a few condominiums that have not reopened just due to the fact that they were on the water and the extent of that damage. That damage was so severe for those condominiums that they're still, and they're high-rise condominiums, so they were not able to open up as quickly. And please excuse the background noise, but I am a smoker and therefore I am smoking. As you see, there's a lot of golf carts. Summertime, this place is a major weekends, holidays, major times. This place is full of people. With golf carts. This here, right here on your right, that Peach building, this is the places we stayed at when I grew up. The Peach building was actually the office / house of the managers, Don and Diane Rudy. And as a little girl, I helped build that place. And that brought a lot of joy to me. I still remember that. We're now coming down onto the beach. To park on the beach, you do have to have a parking permit. And I see that we do have a officer sitting right here waiting for people who do not have their parking permits. But I have mine. Let's We're going to go to the left. You can do boondock camping here on the beach. I do not know exactly how many days at a time you can boondock for, but they do allow boondock camping. Ooh, the surf is extremely rough out there today. Come up closer. This area here, you can no longer, used to be when I was a child, you could, hi seagulls. I don't know if you can see how rough it is out there. Let me roll down that window. Hopefully we don't get attacked by seagulls. Zoom y'all in, see if it'll focus. There we go. When I was a little girl, you could literally drive all the way down to the water's edge here. And people would drive down there and get stuck in the water constantly, just constantly. I don't think, honestly, I can't, probably a day didn't go by that we weren't digging somebody, helping somebody dig out of the water. And it was absolutely crazy. And they ended up putting these up so that you can't drive down onto the water now, down here at this end. Now further north towards Corpus Christi, you can. And over here to the left is the Dunes condominiums. And these are like the first condos that I can remember on the island. I don't believe that they were the first. And they still are not open yet. They're still working on them. And this is the fishing pier. Yes, they're still closed up. There's the pier, and you can't see, but it goes out for a ways. But it is so foggy, it's hard to tell. And it used to go out further, but after, I believe it was Hurricane Camilla, it, the other half of it was washed away. But it survived Harvey and is open, and you do have to pay to go out on it now, and pay to, even if you just want to walk it, or pay to go, you know, you can go out and fish off of it. Here in this section right here, you can, there is an area right here where you can get out and go drive down to the water's edge. But there is no overnight camping or parking. It's only for the day. There used to be picnic tables here, but they all got blown away. I'm sorry that it keeps coming in and out on the vision. You know, that it... But now they've built new picnic tables up here. it looks like they got the bathhouses back open. No. Maybe they're still closed. It's hard to tell. And the campground here is still closed. It suffered. This is a state campground right here. And it suffered. It's the Nueces County campground. And it suffered some severe damage. Where we're heading right now is down to the jetty, which was always a fun place for us to come climb around and walk on as kids. And it looks pretty busy today. A lot of fishermen out on it. And I see, looks like we have a ship going through the channel, going back out. Right up ahead of us, you can see that's just a small ship going out. Now for Harvey, they had to come out here, right here, and put these barricades up. Because this wall here that you see right here, this concrete part, used to all be underwater. And only, whoops, see here, that rock part over there used to be up above the water. So this portion of it is all new since Harvey. And there's a big area over here of water that's still sitting here after a year of water. Actually, I don't even think you could even park right here where we're driving at, because it was water. It was all underwater. Oh no, this was all parking area. Excuse me, this was parking area, but that body of water right there was not there. So, well, you all have now seen the jetty, and so I am going to let you all go, and I am going to, oh, here's a gorgeous pelican right here flying, and I am going to let that pelican end our video for us as we watch him soar. I want to thank you all for joining me on this ride and being a part of this ride with me, and I want y'all to take care. God bless, and go out and do something special for someone this weekend. Be it a friend, a family member, or a stranger. Do it in the name of love. Take care, and God bless.